big news coming in from the telecom sector, which is flashing for you at the bottom of your screens, where the Supreme Court has now rejected Bharti Airtel and Vodafone Idea's pleas seeking waiver of AGR dues. That's an important news. Vodafone Idea is down nearly 10% on the back of that. And in fact, we have news that Council wanted to adjourn the case till July. SC has also dismissed writ petition by Vodafone Idea for exemption of AGR news. So some big important news coming in for the telecom sector. And to discuss this in greater detail, we now have Supreme Court lawyer HP Ranina now joining us. Sir, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now. Help us decode, how do you read this development for the sector and what does this really mean?
Well, what it means is that they cannot get this waiver. Obviously, it will affect the telecom sector quite substantially. But this is what the Supreme Court has been saying, that because every time these companies keep on going to the Supreme Court, they've already decided that the AGR has to remain. It cannot be amended as the telecom. Of course, the telecom companies feel that they are in the serious financial trouble and they may not be able to meet this demand. But the Supreme Court keeps saying that, look, this is how it is. You had agreed to it. Now you have to pay, whatever be the consequences. So there's nothing that the Supreme Court can do in this matter. It is not a judicial matter, something on interpretation of law. It is something which it's a matter of fact to be decided by the government. The only thing that can be done is that the government can take a different view. They can give some relief if they want to, but the Supreme Court cannot give this relief. That's for sure now, because they've been going ample number of times on review.
Companies, Vodafone Idea, Bharti Airtel now have the power to appeal further?
No, not at all. How many times they'll go on appeal? There's no appeal. You can't appeal to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court is the final authority. To whom will you appeal? You can only go on a review petition if there is some fundamental error in the judgment of the Supreme Court, which the Supreme Court says there's no such error. They have gone by the regulations of the government, the telecom department. So the only person who can do it is the government itself. They have to give some relief to the telecom sector if they want. The Supreme Court cannot intervene now anymore.
Supreme Court cannot intervene, but since you spoke about review petition, by when can that be filed by these companies?
Arre Baba, they've already done the reviews. These are all review
Okay, so
petitions.
this is the final order. Nothing can be done.
Nothing more. How many review petitions you can go on filing? This is just the lawyers are just giving wrong advice if they're giving that type of advice.
Understood. So nothing can be done by the Supreme Court or the companies now. The only solution is that the government can come ahead with a solution to this, correct?
That's right. Government can give them relief, can give them time to pay, spread out the payment. These are reliefs which only government can give. This is an executive order, yeah.
Understood, sir. Thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now. So that's the word coming in. This is the final order. These companies don't have any chance of appealing further. So that's some big news coming in for the entire telecom sector. Vodafone Idea is now down 7.5%, and we have Bharti Airtel, which is not reacting much to this news. But shifting focus to some other stories then, Myntra